Hey guys, coming into another classic movie for you guys, and this movie reviewing, this wasn't necessarily a movie that I was originally planning on watching. Basically what happened is as I was putting my list together, I came across this movie and I realized I actually haven't seen this movie ever, and I want to watch it, one, because I've always thought it was a very interesting plot, and I really wanted to check it out, and two, I did want to watch a musical. As you guys know, me being a fan of musicals, I did want to watch some sort of musical in there. There are other ones, but this was basically the one that I really wanted to watch, and I checked it out. And that movie is the 1979 dramedy war classic Hair. This is a movie that I was really looking forward to. I've always been really intrigued by Hair. I've heard the music, things like that from the play, but I never actually saw the story, things like that. So kind of just wanted to go into it, not really knowing much about it. And I heard the movie was really good. I was really looking forward to it. And overall, guys, what did I think of Hair overall? Hair overall, I think, is a very well done musical. It tells a very good story. It's not perfect. Definitely, it's not perfect. I think it's a little bit dated, but I do think overall it is a very good movie, and I enjoyed it very much, and I'm very happy I checked it out. So let's get to the plot of Hair, which is rapidly different from the stage play, which I actually really do appreciate, because if you guys know, I don't like it when stage-to-screen adaptations are exactly the same. I think it's good to do something different, and I like that they did try to do something different here. Basically, this movie, we focus on this, guy named Claude. He's our main character. He is a draftee. He's going into Vietnam War, and he basically is trying to basically strike out New York City, look at all the spots. He lives in like this farmland in like Oklahoma. He abandons that farmland to go into the city, basically to be a soldier in Vietnam, because he's going to fight in the Vietnam War. But before he's drafted, he wants to check out the city, and he eventually comes across these hippies, and kind of gets embraced into their culture, and they kind of teach him some of their carefree lifestyles, and eventually he's kind of conflicted with staying in this lifestyle or doing what he's, fulfilled to do and actually join the war, and that's basically plot of Hair. And I really do like the plot of this movie. That's one of the things that really did intrigue me, is the idea of what this movie really is, and there are a lot of really great things about this movie. Let's get to the cast first, because the cast really is one of the best things about it. I think the cast overall is really great. Our main lead here, John Savage, I mean, he does a great job as Claude. He's the everyman in the movie. In the play, he is the leader of the hippies, and he happens to join the war eventually. But in this, I like that he was kind of like the everyman. He was very skeptical. He had his own beliefs. He's been raised that, you need to fight in the war, and that the war is going on for a reason. But what the hippies convinced him, he starts to believe it. And I like that he started to give in to their culture a little bit. I thought he was a very fascinating character. I really like what they did with this character. And he didn't just come across as the everyman. He is kind of the everyman in the play, but he definitely does have his own beliefs, and he has his own morals, and there are things that he just goes by. And of course, at first, he's been made to think these hippies are like, not, they're lying to him. Like, if the first scene, he thinks they're trying to hustle him. They're asking him for money. He thinks they're trying to hustle him, and that's kind of how he gets involved with it. I think he did a very good job. He doesn't have the strongest singing voice. I definitely will say that. Not the strongest singing voice, but I thought overall he did a very good job. Definitely really liked his character, and you really saw his passion as well. You could really see Claude's passion for this, why he wants to actually join the war. I really did like. But without a doubt, the best performance in the movie is Treat Williams. He is just fantastic as Berger. He nails this role. He just kills it, and Berger in the musical is like the heart of the play, but in this he is the leader of the hippies, and he does a great job. You really see why he joins this group, what he believes, kind of like how he doesn't want to conform to society, because a big part of this movie is about nonconformity. The idea that, everyone has social norms. Berger wants to go against that, and you really do understand why he wants to go against that, the way he kind of convinces Claude, and the way he kind of shows him that there are other choices to have a lifestyle then enter in the war. There are other things to do. I really thought it was interesting that, especially these two men, they really are the main focus of this play. It's the way that these two men are, their ideals, the way they think about things. I definitely really love. I think he did a great job, and he was a lot of fun as well. You could definitely tell. I think out of everyone, he was by far having the most fun. He was awesome. I loved his character. Beverly D'Angelo as Sheila, I really do like what they did with her character. I will say she by far had the weakest singing voice. Like, when she sang, I did not think it was that great. Maybe it was good then, but it doesn't sound very good now. I don't know if it sounded good then, but for me, she had the weakest singing voice. But I really do like the character of Sheila, because again, it is a character that they changed. She originally is like a protester, but in this, she is in this very strict household, very like debutante, rich society, and she's pulled in by these hippies. She kind of of embraces their culture. She likes the carefree nature, and I really like what they did with her character. Just like Claude, she's more willing, and you see that Claude, this is the girl that he wants to chase, this is the girl he wants to be with, and the chemistry between these two, I think, is pretty good. They don't have a lot of scenes here, but I think she overall did a pretty good job. I really did enjoy her character. I like the way that she did things, and I also really liked Andy Golden as a Jeannie, who is pregnant in the movie, but she doesn't necessarily care who the father is. She kind of just wants to have this child and then get over with it, and then kind of just, embrace that and not focus on who the father is. And I think it's very interesting the way that she looked at life. I thought she did a very good job as well. Dorsey Wright was great as HUD. Everyone really is fantastic here. I really do want to point out, though, Cheryl Barnes as HUD's fiance, who I believe is a character that wasn't in the original musical. A very good choice. I mean, she was just fantastic. She has this little subplot with HUD, and we find out something about HUD, basically, that he left this life to go, he left, he left his regular life to join the hippies, and actually left his fiance, who actually has his son, who is his son, basically, and he kind of left her, and you really do see why she's upset. But you also see that as it goes on, she starts to embrace this culture, she starts to understand it more. I really thought she did a great job. You really saw the inner emotion of her character. That she did a very good job. I really did like her character, and I really thought that she was fantastic. One of the best parts of the movie, without a doubt. And like I said, there are a lot of changes, but I feel like they all were very welcome changes. I thought they did a good job with that. And overall, I thought the cast was really good. Really did appreciate it. The directing here by Milos Forman, I thought was very well done. I thought he definitely had a very good tone to the movie. The movie's supposed to be very carefree nature. It's kind of like Godspell in some ways. Well, the movie definitely has more of a story than Godspell, because Godspell, I think, is just like going through the Bible chapters, kind of like in modern day setting. Well, this definitely has more of a story structured, and the directing here, when it needs to be fun, it's fun, but when it needs to be dramatic, it's also very dramatic, and I think he did a very good job of that. I really did like his directing in the movie. I think his directing was very strong here. Definitely one of the best parts. The screenplay, though, I really do want to talk about, because like I said, there were a lot of differences between the musical and the movie, but the same message is intact. Like I said, the movie's all about nonconformity. If you guys know what conformity is, everyone has social norms. Everyone has social norms that they adhere to and they try to follow, basically because they want to be treated normally and they want to be treated as a decent, individual. They have to conform to these certain social norms. The hippies don't do that. They want to do their own thing. They are against certain things. And I thought it was very interesting the way they explored this culture, the way they explored the way they think about things. I mean, it's a very good, it really is a movie about being yourself. Don't just listen to what other people tell you. Actually think about, is this the right thing to do? I mean, even when they're in the war, there's that idea of, should I really follow the war? Things like that. It's very interesting the way that was done. I really did enjoy that. And the way that Claude kind of gets exposed to all this stuff, he actually starts to enjoy it. Like, and this is a man that, when he first arrives, is completely clean. He hasn't done anything wrong. He's completely innocent. He starts taking drugs, things like that, but he likes it. He likes this wild nature, and I thought it was very interesting. I really like what they did with his character. I thought he was definitely very well done, and I really enjoyed the screenplay overall. Definitely one of my favorite parts. I will say the second half of this movie, I didn't think was as great as the first half. The first half is very well done. I think it was very well centered on Clark. The second half of this movie turns into sort of like a road trip movie, and it was fine, but I did think the first half was a lot better. The third act I thought was great. I thought the third half of the movie was great, but the second half I did think things got a little bit jumbled. But I thought the first act, like the first hour and a half of it, were the first like hour and like 10 minutes were just very solid, almost a masterpiece. I almost loved it. And then there were things that I definitely liked in the second half. I do think the second half it got a little bit jumbled, though, but for the most part, I definitely really did enjoy the screenplay, and I definitely really did appreciate it. The cinematography here is still great. I think the cinematography still looks fantastic. You see that hippie culture, and that's something that's very apparent in this. You need to see what the hippies were like. You need to see the hippie culture, because obviously they're not really around today. I mean, maybe they still are, kind of like with hipsters and things like that, but this is different. The hippies were a specific kind of hipster. They have certain ideals, they have certain logistics, and just the way they did that I thought was very well done. Like I said, I really did enjoy that. And the cinematography, you really do see. I thought, the movie is beautiful to look at. It has some incredible scenes, and it is one of those movies that, even though it was made in 1979, it still looks fantastic. I mean, the effects are great. Really, I have nothing to complain with that. There's some amazing dream sequences that still look really great. The dream sequences kind of remind me of All That Jazz a little bit. Obviously, it's not like All That Jazz, but it's very much in that kind of style, the way it was done. I definitely really did appreciate that, and I definitely really did enjoy the cinematography. The editing I thought was fine. I thought the movie was perfectly edited. It went by so fast for me. I was into it the whole time. The movie's only 2 hours. It didn't need to be any longer. Like I said, I was into it the whole time. There's no part where I, like, drifted out of it or anything. Let's talk about the music here, because that's what you guys really want me to talk about. The music, the score, one of the greatest scores of all time. I mean, I think we can all agree that Hair is some of the best music ever written, really, and the music here is great. For the most part, I think the music here is really great. There's one song that is like in the second half that I didn't really understand the meaning of. It's like these girls singing about black guys and then white girls sing about black guys. I just didn't really understand the context of it. Maybe if I were to watch it again, I'd understand it more, but that specific song, I feel like you could have cut that out. I really did. I feel like that song could have been cut out. I heard the musical, it feels more like they're kind of just making up the story as they go along, which I think is really cool. The movie definitely has a much more structured story, and I really did like that. I think a lot of the songs really do flow in nicely. Nothing felt out of place except for that one song. But other than that, I really thought all the songs were great. I think that some of the greatest music in musical history. I think some of the music is just fantastic. I mean, Let the Sunshine In general, that was an incredible song the way that was done. There are some just really great songs here. I love all the music, and definitely one of the best parts of the movie is the music. And something great about it is that most of the movie, there's not a single scene that goes by without a song, which I definitely loved. The music is definitely one of the best things about this movie, without a doubt. The editing, like I said, was fine. I really have no problems with the editing, and I really like the ending of this movie. The ending is a very deep message, and really what the movie's trying to say is just do what you want to do. Be yourself. Don't let other people tell you. Also, the choreography is incredible. The choreography in this movie, there's some really great scenes, and then there's some really great dancing here. It never felt choreographed, but I felt like it wasn't supposed to. That's the thing I really liked. It didn't really feel like choreography. It felt more like they're just kind of doing this as they go along, because that's part of their culture and they're kind of embracing it. And I definitely really did appreciate that. And the way that certain songs are done in this movie, they're not just spontaneously burst down the song. Like, it's sometimes it feels like the hippies, it's weird to see them burst down into song. They kind of use it as that's part of their culture. Like, them singing is part of like what they want to do. I think that was really cool. It was very well realized, and I haven't seen a lot of musicals do something like that, but I definitely really liked it. For example, a character in the hippie group would start to sing, and then someone who wasn't in it would start to look at them like, what the hell are you doing? But then they join in and really enjoy it. I thought that was a really cool way to do it. I definitely really did enjoy it, and I thought that was really, really cool the way they handled that. I definitely really did appreciate that. Like I said, overall, guys, I really did enjoy this movie. I think the ending is very effective. The way it kind of tells you just go out and do your own thing. Don't let society tell you what to do, I think is very good. And I think the message of the movie is still intact. Even though the movie is Vietnam War, I think it really is about, just do your own thing. Don't let people tell you what to do. Don't just think that you have this certain standard to live by. Be your own person. If you don't want to do this thing, don't do it. You have a belief, pursue it. That's kind of what the movie's trying to say. I think they got that goal across very well. And overall, guys, like I said, I really did enjoy Hair. I think it's a very strong movie. I definitely would recommend it. It's not for everyone. I definitely will say that. I don't think everyone will love this movie. There are going to be some people who are, I think, a little bit annoyed by this movie, or think it's dated or whatever. But if you really love musicals, even if you don't love musicals, I think you'll still really enjoy this. The subtext is very good. There's a very deep meanings. It is one of those movies where I think I do want to kind of go back and like rewatch some scenes, definitely. But overall, guys, definitely really loved Hair. And if I was going to grade Hair, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 or an A. Overall, I really love this movie. Very solid stuff overall. A or A minus. I'm still in between those two, but definitely up there. I really did love this movie. Now, I wouldn't say it's one of the greatest musical films of all time, because they definitely did change some things from the play, which that's something else the movie really wanted me to do. It did make me want to go watch the play and see if I can find that online to see the difference between that and the movie, because there definitely are quite a few differences that I definitely do want to check out. Also, the movie did get some Golden Globes. It actually was nominated for Best Musical or Comedy and New Star of the Year for Treat Williams, but overall, guys, if you have seen Hair, let me know what you guys saw this movie. Love to hear your thoughts on it. I really did enjoy this movie. And also, what do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer the movie or the musical? Because I know that they are not rapidly different, but there are definitely some significant changes that they made to both of them, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on which one you like more. But overall, guys, like I said, really did love Hair. Great movie overall. Let me know what you guys saw this movie you have seen, and we'll see you guys in my next video, which will be for either Empire of the Path, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.